Good evening. It's November 12th, 2013. Notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the flag and pledge salute, and I'll ask for a moment of silence for former Mayor John T. Gregorio.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In event of emergency, the proper method for exiting the council chamber is through the 3 rear doors. Occupants should proceed down the staircase out of the front, move away from the area of the front steps. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in the white sheets provided in the front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones or place them on vibrate. If you must take a call, please leave the chamber to do so. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Colbus.
Here.
Cozio. Here. Brown.
Here.
Armstead.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Sheehy.
Here.
Yamikaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Kaczynski. Here. Mr. Moore.
Here. I ask for a motion for the approval of the minutes for October 15th, 2013.
Mr. Council President, I move for the approval of the minutes from October 15th and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Cozio.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Sheehy.
Yes.
Yamikaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We have some presentations tonight. I would like to ask the mayor to go onto the floor and ask Dee Vellante, the 2013 Veteran of the Year by the Linden Veterans Council, to step forward, please. Vellante. And Mrs. Yamakaitis. Mayor. Mr. Vellante.
Every year, the Veterans Council nominates a Veteran of the Year. And this year, I don't think they could have picked a better person than Dee Vellante as Linden's Veteran of the Year. Dee, needless to say, belongs to the greatest generation. He served honorably in World War II. He came home, then opened a business up in the city of Linden, and has been a good friend to the city and a great business owner for as long as he's been in Linden, which has been his whole life, right, Dee? Am I wrong on that? Correct. And it's just an honor for me to be here and present him with this resolution honoring Dee Vellante as Veteran of the Year. And if the other veterans would please step up while I present this honor to Dee, I'd welcome you. Whereas Dee Vellante was born at 115 Southwood Avenue to Palma and Francisco Villani, the first of 7 children, has remained a lifelong citizen of the city of Linden. And whereas Dee attended Linden Public Schools 6, Solon Middle School, and Linden High School. And whereas after the United States entered World War II, Dee, like so many young patriots, tried to enlist in the service of his country, but was rejected due to his being underage. Whereas in 1945, Dee successfully enlisted in the Navy, joining some 16 million others who served in the armed forces of the United States and becoming a member of what would become known as the Greatest Generation. And whereas Dee, after completing boot camp at Camp Perry, Virginia, was assigned to rebuilding and restoring land and craft, a vital means of transporting combat troops and supplies. And whereas the engines that service the landing craft were the same as those used to power the buses at Villani Bus Company, a family-owned business, Dee was able to work and turn out engines in record time, impressing the officers he served under. And whereas as a result of his accomplishments, Dee was offered administration into the V6 program, which compressed 4 years of college into 3, including a 3-year flight program. Other notable members of this program included the astronaut Wally Schirra. And whereas following his discharge from the service, Dee attended Duke University, where he earned a degree in business and then returned to work for the family bus service. And whereas possessing a strong belief in patriotism and community service, he joined and was an active part of supporting such organizations as the American Legion, VFW, Vietnam Veterans, Lions Club, Moose, Elks, Knights of Columbus, Italian American Club, and Unico. And whereas the Linden Veterans Council has selected Dee Villani as a Veteran of the Year in recognition of his patriotism, having served his country in the armed forces and came home and continued to serve his country and the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the City of Linden that they wish to honor Dee Villani for being chosen as Linden Veteran of the Year and thank him for his service to his country and community. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of City Council of the City of Linden in permanent recognition of the patriotism of Dee Villani, and a copy be presented to him. Dee, again, it's a great honor for me to present this to you. There couldn't be a more deserving person than Dee Villani. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Ron Stefanowitz, the President of the Veterans Council.
Thanks for the introduction, Mayor. It was very well done. I think the resolution epitomizes a true veteran. Yesterday was Veterans Day, and we celebrated by going around and honoring all of those veterans who made the supreme sacrifice for their country. We also honored those who came home and continued to serve. A veteran serves his country and comes home and serves his community and his country and continues. Dee epitomizes that veteran. Rather than read pretty much what was said in the resolution, it is my honor as the head of the Linden Veterans Council to congratulate Dee on this honor, and let me present you with this plaque that you'll always remember. Thank you. Commander.
I also have the honor of presenting from the Senate and General Assembly proclamation for Dee Villani. I mean, I'd like to thank his daughter Courtney, because she really kept us posted in Linden with the New York parade yesterday with all her pictures. And Dee, you represented Linden very well in New York, so we thank you. So On behalf of the Senate and General Assembly, joint legislative resolution by Senators Scutari, Assemblyman Green, and Assemblywoman Stender, whereas Dee Villani, a highly esteemed lifelong member of the City of Linden, Union County community, is being honored and saluted by the Linden Veteran Council as the recipient of the Veteran of the Year Award on November 12, 2013, in celebration of Veterans Day. And whereas Veterans Day commemorates the service and sacrifice of our men and women who have fought in the defense of this country during foreign wars. And whereas Dee Villani, who enlisted in 1945, served his country with honor and valor as a member of the United States Armed Forces, and he was a member of the V6 program. And whereas Dee Villani graduated from Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, and he has served with distinction as a valued employee within his family business. And whereas Dee Villani has given generously of his time and energy as a member of and a leader within several community organizations, including the American Legion, VFW, Vietnam Veterans, Lions Club, Knights of Columbus, Italian American Club, and UNICO. And whereas from the earliest militia of the colonial era to the recent veterans of high-tech war in Southwest Asia, whenever our nation was endangered or her interests threatened, her patriotic citizen soldiers have responded heartily. And whereas, in observing Veterans Day, we record our profound debt of gratitude to those who have answered the call of duty and partisans in order to protect the liberties and values cherished by all Americans. And whereas, in addition, we rededicate ourselves to the ideals of liberty, human dignity, and universal justice that have consistently influenced the conduct of this nation in world affairs and for which so many Americans have sacrificed their lives in the fields of combat. And whereas it is altogether proper and fitting for the members of this legislature and the people of this state to recognize and to remember the courage, determination, and loyalty demonstrated by Dee Villani in his service to our country. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the State and General Assembly of the State of New Jersey that this legislature hereby honors Dee Villani for his service and sacrifice during his military career and extends to him this legislature's sincere best wishes, and be it further resolved that a duly authenticized copy of this resolution signed by the Senate President and the Assembly Speaker and attested by the Senate Secretary and the Assembly Clerk be transmitted to Dee Villani. Signed, Stephen M. Sweeney, President of the Senate, and Sheila Y. Oliver, Speaker of the General Assembly. Very proud of you.
I did all that?
Yes, you did.
I'm certainly proud to be part of the city of Linden. And it's evidenced by the group here paying some kind of notice. I've been in Linden since I was born, 86 years ago. And Linden is a great place to be from. You get out of town and you look back, oh, there's Linden, good place. And the way I feel now, even after 86 years on this earth, I'm ready to go back and give it hell again. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like Councilman Armando Medina to please step forward.
I'd like Councilman Derek Armstead, Councilwoman Cosby Hurling to go on the floor, please. For the presentation. Would you please?
Watch yourself. The city of Linden is a very diverse community. We are made up of different nationalities, races, and religions. And we all live and work and get along together because that's what the strength of America is. Different nationalities and peoples living and working together and bringing their cultures to each other. And Linden is always proud when we have those different diverse individuals as part of our workforce. And today we are honoring two people from the Latino community. One is Sergeant Fernandez from the Linden Police Department, who was the first Latino police officer in the city of Linden. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here today, so we will present this to him, but we want to recognize his service and his appreciation being the first Latino police officer. And of course, I have the distinct honor of presenting this resolution to our first Latino councilman, Armando Medina. And I would like to read this inscription. Whereas the family of Armando Medina immigrated to the United States from the Dominican Republic and settled in Miami, Florida, whereas Armando was born, and whereas his parents, Jose Medina and Angel Burgos, then relocated to Elizabeth and settled in Peterstown section, and whereas Armando Medina then attended Elizabeth High School, the Union County Votech School, and has been employed in litigation support industry for the past 11 and a half years. Whereas Armando Medina has resided in Linden for the last 11 years and is a proud homeowner in the 9th Ward. Whereas Armando Medina has been married to Rosalind Medina for the past 4 years. Whereas Armando Medina realized that when neighbors come together and show interest in their community, change is possible. And he ran for the position of councilman 9th Ward, running on a platform that expressed his passion to improve the quality of life and the public safety of his neighbors. And whereas on January 1st, 2013, Armando Medina was sworn in as Linden's 9th Ward councilman, becoming Linden's first Latino councilman. Whereas since that time, Armando has dedicated himself to reducing speeding in the 9th Ward, addressing the many issues facing Linden taxpayers, and revitalizing our community, in particular the beautification of the Linden train station underpass. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor and Council of the City of Linden, that they hereby do recognize Armando Medina as Linden's first Latino council member and thank him for the dedication to the residents of the 9th Ward and the City of Linden. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of the Council of the City of Linden in permanent recognition of accomplishment, and copy of this resolution to be presented to him. Signed, Council President James Moore, Mayor Rich Gerbanka. Armando, congratulations. You want to say something? Please say something.
Thank you. Really didn't prepare for this or wrote a speech or anything like that. I am honored and I'm humbled to be recognized as Linden's first Latino councilman for the city of Linden. I'm also honored that I've been given the opportunity to represent everyone in the city of Linden, not only the Latino community, but everyone from all different background and ethnicity in the city of Linden. I do believe in change and working together as a community, no matter what your background is, change could happen. And also goes to show you if you work hard, no matter what background you come from, you work hard, you could definitely accomplish what your goals are. Being a councilman wasn't originally one of my goals, but when I decided to run for councilman, obviously that was my goal, and I accomplished it because I work hard. I believe in the message that I put out, and I think that the Ninth Ward is doing a little bit better, and there's still a lot more work to be done for the Ninth Ward and also for the city of Linden as a whole. Thank you, I'm honored. Thank you.
I would be remiss if I didn't add to make a few statements. I recall when Armando first declared that he was running, it didn't matter to me that he was Hispanic. It didn't matter to me that he was an independent. I'm a Democrat, and I recall crossing party lines to support this gentleman because I felt like he is part of a change that is occurring in Linden, and he's a part of something that he wants to make Linden a better place, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day, is that we want to make Linden a better place for everybody, and I think Armando embodies that belief. Thank you very much.
I'll ask Councilman Medina and the mayor to stay on the floor for the presentation for the Mike from Kean University for the train station painting. Mike, would you come up, please?
How you doing, Mike? I just got to know Mike Anderson maybe 6 months ago when I was introduced to him by Councilman Medina. And Mike lives in the Ninth Ward also. And he took it upon himself to offer his services and also the services of many students from Kean College University to beautify the city of Linden. And that was underneath our railroad trestle, where you see all the paintings that are currently there. These young men and women from the fraternity and sorority in one day came out about 50 strong and painted 90% of those murals that you see on the train station. And the price was right because all it cost us was materials and pizza from the city's coffers. So we had a win-win situation there, and it was all because of Mike's direction. And so I'm honored to present him with this resolution, thanking him for all the hard work. And also included in the resolution is for the Seoul Middle School Art Club, which added the other 10%, which wasn't finished by the university students. So, Mike, I would like to read this for the public. Whereas Linden resident and graduate of Kean University, Michael Anderson, had come up with an idea to do something meaningful and uplifting for the city of Linden that could be enjoyed by all Linden residents and the many individuals who travel through Linden and use the Linden train station daily. And whereas Michael Anderson, focusing on the economic hardships that the city, like many other towns, have been faced with, reached out to the members of his former Kean University fraternity, Gamma Phi Epsilon, Professor Dr. Norma Bowe, Director of Community Service Organization of Kean University, Be the Change, a volunteer group from Kean University that has traveled all over the country to help rebuild communities, and whereas along with sorority, Delta Phi Epsilon, Nu Sigma Tau, and the Seoul Middle School Art Club were able to create artistic murals in and around the area of the Linden train station underpass. Whereas the individuals involved were able to create many beautiful scenes that tell a short story of the city, as well as reflections of the many things that the city of Linden is unique to. Whereas a few scenes in the mural include a painting of a door which was painted to depict the location of Linden's first council meeting at the Wee Sheaf Tavern a horse and rider painted in reference to the racetrack the city once had, a lamp post to indicate that Linden was one of the first towns to have electric street lamps, as well as a runway and F Wildcat as a remembrance of the planes built by the General Motors plant during World War II. Whereas with every passerby that was asked to pick up a brush and help out, many personal touches were added to the wall, such as inspirational quotes and ideas which made the mural come to life. Whereas the mayor and members of the city council, City of Linden, wish to thank Michael Anderson and the members of the Gamma Phi Epsilon, Delta Phi Epsilon, Nu Sigma Tau, Dr. Norma Bowe, Be the Change, Seoul Middle School Art Club, and all the individuals who took part in creating the train station mural for their hard work and dedication in the city of Linden. Signed, President James Moore, City Council, Richard Gerbunka, Mayor. Congratulations again, and thank you for everything you've done.
I just want to thank the mayor again for the opportunity to do this. I'd come to him with some complaints about the town initially. The garbage fee was the topic of our conversation, but I felt that it wasn't right just to come up with something to complain about. And I wanted to do something to kind of help Linden get a little bit better and make some change here. And I think we did that. I think we kind of brightened up that area, kind of told a little bit of Linden's history, and hopefully you guys can enjoy it for years to come. Thank you. Thank you again.
And if you notice on the agenda, Mike is going to start making more change in the city of Linden because I appointed him tonight to the planning board.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to move into ordinances. We continued over ordinance from September 17th. It was tabled indefinitely, so there's no need for a motion. Ordinance on hearing. This is the date and time established for public hearings on ordinances. Ordinance 5760 was removed from consideration. 5761, Mr. Clerk.
An ordinance of the City of Linden establishing it and adopting the Abandoned Property Rehabilitation Act and other statutory provisions related to the act.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is anyone in the audience wishes to be heard on the ordinance? Am I right? Center? On my left? If seeing none, I'll ask for a motion.
Thank you, Council President. I move for the hearing be closed on ordinance number 5761 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colvis?
Yes.
Koziel? Yes. Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5762.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 2, Administration of an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting and Enacting the Revised General Ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999. Delete Section 2-8, Reserved in its entirety. Add new Section 2-8, City Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the chamber who wishes to be heard in the ordinance? Am I right? Pat Hero, would you come up, please?
Council President, I'd also like to speak on this ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Pat Hero, please.
Press the button. Patty.
I wish Paul Workmeister was alive to see this day, but unfortunately he is not. Hopefully he is here with us in spirit. One thing I have before I discuss the body of the ordinance is maybe the body of the ordinance. I was looking at it outside before I had the copy, and I noticed that a word was rather prominent in the ordinance. Now, many of you identify with this word. I do not. It is his. Now, I know you're going to tell me to turn to word usage whenever used here in the masculine and gender should include the feminine. But I think we should start having ordinances that are gender inclusive, particularly when employment is concerned. Many people automatically may exclude themselves when they just see the word his in terms of a job. You weren't with me in my constitutional law class when I was told in 1982, I believe it was, that neither I nor any of the other women, and he referred to us as a group, should belong here because we were taking up valuable space from men. So when you use the word his, it kind of just brings that all back. You could do S/HE, his/her. It works pretty well, just not his alone. Please have some sensitivity to the women. Now, as far as the body of the ordinance, one thing I'm concerned about is it holds office at the pleasure of the city council. I think a good city administrator may do things that the city council may not approve of, that may not be politically correct, because sometimes a city administrator has to ruffle some feathers, and I'm a little bit concerned about that. I do think the office of the city administrator is a good idea, but I think you should give the city administrator a lot more leeway than I think this ordinance, from what the quick overview that I've gotten gives, because we do need a lot of shaking up in the city of Linden. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else on my right wishes to make a comment? If not, in the center, John, please come up.
Thank you, Mr. President. John Langen, 2001 North Style Street. Members of council, I had the opportunity some 2 months ago to appear before you at at your caucus meeting. I want to take this opportunity to publicly thank the members of our committee who served so diligently. Councilman Bob Sadowski, Councilwoman Michelle Yamakaitis, John Miliano, Gail Massey, Joe Fleming, but in particular, a special thank you in memory of our past mayor who served as our chairman and truly should be standing before you tonight, Paul Workmeister. He truly and honestly believed in what we were doing. Secondly, it is an absolute honor to be part of an ad hoc committee. It gives us the opportunity as citizens and as concerned citizens to bring to your attention that which you gave us the duty to perform. And we have done that, I truly believe. You have the report before you. You saw what the findings are. I suggest one thing to you. This is the third time in our history that the position of city administrator has been brought forth. The first time was 1925, when the borough, the township came together. They said we're going to be a city. Thank God they did. But at that moment, and in those times, they discussed city administrator. A man by the name of Mr. Ferber was a strong advocate for city administrator. Luckily, I married a girl from Ferber Avenue. But be that as it may, the second time that city administrator came forth was the Ernst & Young report. And I do hope that you took the time to really review that. But I'm going to quote one part, and that was 1989, a thorough and complete review of our city. And the line goes as such: reorganize the structure of the municipal operations previously described. That's step E in what they reported. But the one that I really underline, create the position of city administrator. This is the third time now, based on your request, based on your unanimous vote, to study the feasibility of this position. What takes place now is entirely in your hands. I know that there are many other subjects before you. I know that there is a thought of change of form of government. And if in fact that should occur, that would include a city administrator. So I say to you here tonight, on behalf of this committee and on this recommendation, we need your courage. We need you to step forward for that which is going to be beneficial to our city. We recognized, believe me, the budget constraints, the economy of our time. It certainly was a major consideration. But in the long run, with your courage, with your integrity, and with your willingness to give up some of your authority, which is going to take great courage, I submit, we strongly urge you to approve this ordinance. Last but not least, I absolutely have to say this. This is a privilege. You're making democracy work. This study, this committee, this opportunity is who we are, what we are. We need you now to lead our city. We need you now to have the courage to support this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of the entire council, I want to thank your committee for the dedication and time that you put into this. It was a horrendous job that you had to do, and we all appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mr. Moore.
Jimmy, could I say something?
I'm going to go to the audience first, if you mind.
Okay, sit down, John. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone in the center wish to make comment on this ordinance? On my left? Then we'll proceed to the mayor. You have any comments?
Yes, I do. And it's going to probably be a little lengthy comment. And all I ask, Council President, is that you not allow me to be interrupted. I'll make my statements, and then I'll sit quietly back while other people may have a different opinion of what I say.
Well, that's what we tried to agree to in caucus, and I hope it works tonight.
And John Langen, I got to commend you and your committee. I know you worked extremely hard on this, and you were dedicated and sincere in your charge as to the findings of a business administrator. And I thank you for that. But I think you know that although I favor a business administrator, this town sorely needs it. I favor it under a different form of government, not the Wildwood Act of 1897, formed by committees making decisions. I believe we should have a business administrator, but we should come into the 21st century under the Faulkner Act. Our present form of government is antiquated and dysfunctional. Now, I want to make something perfectly clear. It's the system or the structure of government that's dysfunctional, not the members on it. We can't have part-time people making policy changes and directing the administrator to do so. In your ad hoc committee report, the committee even agrees that it was a loaded report. You were only given one option, not all the options to explore the best form of government. And I will read the one paragraph in your report. And again, I commend you. I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I commend you and your committee. Before beginning a review of the findings of the committee wanted it to be made clear that they had unanimously agreed that the committee was created to investigate and make recommendations regarding the creation of the position of a municipal administrator under Linden's present form of government, and whether that position would benefit the citizens of Linden. Any discussion regarding a change of charter was clearly outside the charge given the committee and current state statute. This is a loaded study. You only had one option to explore. I don't think this is a fair study. I also did a little research and came up with a municipal government study committee back in 1970. Here it is right here, 1970. And I'm going to quote one section out of that. And the committee members were Alexander Lee, Richard Canavan, Charles Komorowski, Patrick Rocks, Clarence Gladden, Leonard Eilbacher, John Lanson. And in this section, it states, and I'll give anybody a copy of this 1970 committee, and remember, that's 44 years ago. Based upon its study and interviews and the response of the members of the public that have appeared at the public meetings of this committee, and an evaluation of all the study materials available to the committee, the members have concluded that a new form of government should be recommended for the city of Linden. And they go further. And they say, whatever the adequacy may have been in the past, the committee is of the opinion that this form of government is presently inadequate for the city of Linden and contains many disadvantages that hamstring the efforts of good men and women that have come forward in an effort to provide good government for the city. These disadvantages can be described as follows, and again, this is 44 years ago. General authority to run the government is too fragmented. Government by councilmanic committee has proven to be too burdensome to the part-time elected council persons. There is little opportunity for professionalism in government to take advantage of modern and efficient techniques of operation. There is no overall supervision and coordination. Because of the structure, too many officials see only a piece of the picture, and overall direction of the city's affairs is frustrated. The system perpetuates wasteful practices and procedures. Again, we're under an 1897 Wildwood Act. The Faulkner Act delineates a separation of powers. I, as the mayor, cannot propose a budget, I can't vote on a budget, I can't veto a budget. The Faulkner Act will give the business administrator and the mayor the authority to propose a $96 million budget, with council deciding whether to accept it or not, or modify it. No different than the governor does with the legislature or the president does with Congress. 67 of New Jersey's municipalities, or 37% of our population, are under the Faulkner Act. That's Woodbridge, Elizabeth, New Brunswick, Jersey City, Bayonne, Edison, just a few. And they have, like Elizabeth or Woodbridge, only 9 council persons. Some have 7. We have 11, as you see. The mayor and the business head deals with the department heads on a day-to-day basis, and both will have a better handle of running city government rather than continually to have a committee decide on what direction the business administrator and mayor are going to go. We need change. We need to stabilize our taxes. The business administrator is the way to go. But we have to change our form of government also. Now, some people will say that all I'm trying to do is reach for power and get more power, and that is not the case. My main concern is the city which I've worked so hard for 20 years in politics, and a change of government so that we could have a better form and structure to run our great city. And I will say this, I intend to change our form of government. Under the state statutes, I need 4,000 signatures to put the Faulkner Act on the ballot for the voters to decide. Again, this was not an option the committee could even consider based on the charge they got from the governing body. So I'm stating now that effective today, I'm going to have a grassroots campaign soliciting signatures on this petition so that we could move our government into the 21st century. And I thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Colobus, do you wish to speak on this?
Are we voting, or are we just going to speak? Could we just go
Just
down?
comments.
I'm in favor of this ordinance the way it is. I applaud the committee for their hard work and due diligence, and when the vote comes around, I will be voting yes.
Thank you for your comments. Councilman Kozio?
Thank you, Council President. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You look at these esteemed people on the wall adorning city council chambers. They made this form of government work. Through thick and thin, through good economies and bad economies. I think that as the mayor speaks about some dysfunction, what this council was able to do the last few years is reduce the size of municipal government over 35%, and that's pretty significant. And I applaud everyone up here, including the mayor, because we all had to work together to do that. I also applaud the efforts of the committee. Thank you very much. I will also be voting in favor of this ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to remind everyone that first, this ordinance is about a business administrator and not changing the form of government. I mean, if that's a discussion we should have later on. So tonight, I'm supporting the idea of a business administrator. When the mayor talks about how many municipalities in the form of government, I think he said 37%. Well, that's false. There's over 550 municipalities in the state of New Jersey. If you base it off the mayor's number of 67, it leaves about 12% of the current form of government that he's talking about. My first question is to anybody is, can anybody list any municipalities that don't have a city administrator? John, you brought up a report that came out in the 1980s that specifically said the city of Linden needs a business administrator. I think everyone here agrees is that we need a city administrator. This is something that could be done now, effective as January. As you look at the city finances, and that's my focus, is that you see that the tax rate in Linden since 2007 up until present has increased by 34%. The rateable base, which I keep talking about since 2007, has decreased, if I go on the county's website, by $125 million. To me, supporting a business administrator is a matter of fixing Linden's problems now. Taxes are going up. Our rateable base is going down. This year, we were $5.2 million in the hole. This is something that's long overdue. We need an expert to help the city get his finances in order, bring in the ratables, supervise, if you want to say, our employees. To talk about changing the form of government, you're talking about you're going to have a study that's done. You talk about ordinances and all those legal issues that would take well over a year. We need to do something now, today. And so, I can go back and forth with the mayor on this, but, to me, focusing on a grassroots campaign on getting changing the form of government rather than focusing on the problems that we have at hand in City Hall, to me, it doesn't seem right. We need to focus right now on the city administrator, getting our finances back in order, getting the city in better financial footing, and having a city administrator helps. I mean, just look at other towns that have a city administrator and how they are doing. And to close out, you bring up an interesting point, which a lot of people are forgetting. The council is conceding power to an expert. The council is the governing body is saying we are giving more power to an expert to run the day-to-day operations, which I think is very key. With that, I close my remarks.
Thank you, Councilman Brown. Councilman Armstead, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I'd like to thank the members of the committee for your hard work. There's no question you guys did a great job. And the mayor has some very good points with regards to the limitations of your study. Nevertheless, I do feel strongly, in fact, I do feel strong that we need a business administrator. I do, however, question whether or not it will work under our particular form of government, which is a committee form of government. But at this time, since it's only on the introduction, I'm going to vote in favor of it, and hopefully, as a governing body, we can come together and figure out how we could make this work. There's no question that there's some changes that have to be made in this city, and I think, collectively, we could come up with some ideas, maybe to make a business administrator work
Mr.
one way or
Armstead,
another.
I believe that we introduced it last month, and this is the vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be voting in favor of it, but we'll look to try to make things work the best we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Armstead. Councilwoman Rashani Cosby Hurley.
I'm not going to comment on it. I agree with it. It's long overdue, and we'll have the argument with the mayor about the form of government at a later time.
The Honorable Councilman Robert Sadowski.
Okay, John, I tried to get you before, but as being one of the council people on the committee, I want to thank you. You weren't the chairman, but to be truthful, you know it, we know it, you were the driving force behind it. And our charge was not changing government, it was just whether we should have, and we agreed to it, nothing about changing anything. But as a person on the committee, I just want to thank you for, how could I put it, leading us and explaining and whatever it was, because that was our job, not to decide what kind of government we're having, whether this would be advantageous to the city. And I think it will be, and I want to thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sheehy.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank Mr. Langdon for his integrity. He filled some big shoes when Mr. Workmeister passed away, and he stepped right in and did it. We didn't miss a beat. And he came into the council a month ago and explained it all to us. Perfect. I believe in the administrator, but I don't believe in the committee system at all here. I feel the committee system is broke. I don't want to go any further, though, because that's not why we're here tonight. We're here tonight to just vote for the business administrator. And again, that wasn't the duties that the committee had, was to change the form of government. I do believe that, say it again, it's broke. It's my opinion. But I really want to thank the committee, everybody that was on that committee that volunteered their time and did an excellent job, and again, explained it well to us. Thank you, sir. And
Thank
my
you,
report
Councilman
there.
Sheehy. Councilwoman Yamakitis.
Yes, Mr. President. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to be able to serve on that committee. Mr. Langen, like Councilman Sadowski said, you filled some big shoes, and it took 2 years. We really did our homework on this. And we looked at many municipalities with the same form of government. And as an example, Summit, same form of government we have with a business administrator. Under what we're looking to do, this would be a system of checks and balances. The mayor would make the recommendation with the advice and consent of council. And to me, that is good government. Not one person should have total authority. So I will be supporting this. It's long overdue. We do need the business administrator. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Medina.
Yes, thank you, Council President. I want to also thank the committee as well. I am in favor of the business administrator. I think it's long overdue, and look forward to seeing this process start and discussing the other matters at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Adam Kozowski.
Close enough. First off, I'd just like to thank the committee for doing this work. Mr. Langdon, as a, I spoke to you earlier and a couple times, and looking at that report, it was one of the better reports that I've read, because it's not an easy charge to go through decades of information, and how you were able to quote different things right there just add to my confidence in the report. So I will be supporting it. I do believe it's something that I think the city needs. I don't believe it's mutually dependent on the other discussion we need to have. I have severe questions about our form of government, but I see a business administrator, city administrator, whatever you want to call it, as a step in the right direction, albeit a small one, a big one, depending on how this works out. But I just want to thank you and the committee. Please, convey my thanks to everyone on that committee for putting the time and the effort into providing this information to us. So thank you.
Thank you, Adam Kaczynski. Thank you, Councilman. I'd like to make a comment. I think the committee did a tremendous job, but I think we handcuffed you and didn't allow you to explore all possibilities. I think you hit it on the head when you said that we need a charter change. But we need a business administrator, but I support having it coupled with a charter change. So I'm going to open up for a vote now. Would you have a comment, please, in the center? Would you come up, please?
I couldn't make it before because I had not seen this ad hoc report. The other thing I just want
Fair.
I'm in favor of a business administrator. The other thing I just want to address, there is a organization chart, and the comment pertains to where I see that the business administrator is located under city council. This administrator is going to have fiduciary responsibility for the city, and I don't see any lines going to any of the on the org chart to positions under the mayor. And I think that because of this fiduciary responsibility that he's going to be having, that there should be more say that he has into all the different departments, and not just be subordinated, to the council. So that's just the point that I want to bring up. I don't think that his area that his charge is really complete based on this org chart.
Thank you for your comments. Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
I ask for a motion, please.
Mr. President, I move that the hearing be closed and ordinance 57-62 be adopted, and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Moving to the consent agenda. I'm sorry. 5763.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic as follows. Add to 7-12.1, 2-hour parking Morningside Avenue and Summit Terrace, both sides, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Delete from 7-15.1D, parking details, Summit Terrace East Side from a point 45 feet northwest of West St. George's Avenue to a point 340 feet north of West St. George's Avenue. Add to 7-15.1D, teacher permit parking only, Summit Terrace, East Side, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the chamber wishes to speak on the ordinance? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Thank you, Council President. I ask that ordinance 57-63 be closed and adopted, and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Yes.
Sadowski? Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
No. Moving to the communications consent agenda, all items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the city council and be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless the council members or citizens so request. In the event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in normal sequence on the agenda. We have items 1 through 10. Anyone on my right wish to comment? In the center of the chamber. On my left. Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Council President, I ask that consent agendas items 1 through 10 be passed and seek a second.
Second. Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Kozio?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Thank you. The council, in order to take into consideration public input into proposed ordinances, will allow 3 minutes for each individual to speak on the ordinance on first reading. Council will not answer any questions. A little procedural problem there. We'll move into committee reports. Councilman Kalabas.
Thank you, Council President. From the Public Property Committee, 2013 monthly financial report for October from the Division of Transportation and Parking. This report includes the collection of parking meters, railroad daily parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits. On New York side collection, $7,941. Trenton side collection, $7,943.25. Credit card transactions, $18,451.19. Parker meeting collections, $11,900.65. Railroad permits, $5,517.50 for a grand total of $51,753.59 submitted by Tyrone Givens, Transportation Supervisor. From the Engineering Committee, the Engineering Department and Committee are recommending that the city submit 2 applications for the 2014-2015 Union County Community Development Revenue Sharing Committee program. There are home improvement and resurfacing of sections of McCandless Street, McCandless Place, and West Munsell Avenue. Next year would be the 40th year of the program, for which Linden has received $20,780. I'm sorry, is that 20 million, George? I'm sorry. $20,780,000, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna, over $20 million in the grants just so far. The contractor working on, number 2, the contractor working on St. George Avenue for the state was pulled off the project and sent elsewhere. If everybody noticed that, St. George Avenue, the work's been pulled. He is anticipating that they will return this month and complete the job. Number 3, the committee is recommending the city establish a community aggregation program to reduce energy costs for residents and businesses. An ordinance is on for introduction tonight. Number 4, New Jersey American Water Company has been installing new mains and services throughout the city this year. 3 projects are still incomplete, including in the First Ward, West Gibbon Street, a few houses service remain. The contractor should be completed by November 22nd. And the 3rd and 4th wards on East Elm, and it's also anticipated to begin in December and January. And in 5th Ward, all streets between Park Avenue, St. George's Avenue, Ridgeford Terrace, and Fay Avenue, 45 houses services remain. The contractor should be completed in early December. All final paving on the above streets will be held over until next spring. And number 5, the contractor doing the improvements on Orchard Terrace, Arudo Street, Tremley Point Road, East 12th Street, Princeton Road, Ferber Avenue, and Morristown Road is scheduled to begin next week. With Linden asphalt plant ready to close soon, we will do the concrete work and inlet castings this year and finish the milling and paving next spring. I want to thank all my council colleagues who supported Ordinance 5763. That'll really help out the residents in the 1st and 9th Ward around the high school, so I appreciate that. And let's see. I want to express my condolences to the Gregorio family. on the recent passing of former Mayor John T. Gregorio. He was a really great man, and he did so much for the city, and he will be greatly missed. I want to congratulate the re-election of Councilman Peter Brown and Councilwoman Roshana Cosby-Hurling, and say also congratulations to Councilman-elect Byer and Councilman-elect Marichenko on their victories in the election. And any constituent of the First Ward who has any questions or concerns can reach me at 925-5568. And since this is the last meeting before Thanksgiving, I want to wish everybody and their families a happy and safe Thanksgiving. This concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Colowitz. Councilman Cozio?
Thank you, Council President. A little frog in my throat. I would also like to extend my condolences to the family of former Mayor John T. Gregorio. He will be greatly missed. He was a great leader of this town. I've mentioned the portraits on the wall. He's up there twice, and he did a lot of good for the city, and he will be sorely missed. I'd also like to congratulate Mr. Minichenko. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Brown and Roshana, Councilwoman Cosby-Hurling on their reelection. And also, Mr. Byer, congratulations to you. It's going to be a great transition. I will help you in any way that I can. There are some things, some initiatives that we have been working on, and I'm sure that you'll continue the good work for the people in the Second Ward. Congratulations. A very quick report, Council President. I put together on behalf of the committee, which includes Mr. Brown and Mr. Colowitz, the Technology Committee, I put together a request for proposals for the redesign, development, and implementation of an official website for the Linden municipality. We are sorely in need of a new website. It has to do a lot more for the city and for us. So I put together an RFP, which I gave to council to review, and hopefully that could get out and we could start looking for vendors to do that. Any input from council would be greatly appreciated. And if anybody has any questions, anybody from the public, we've been working on this for quite a while, and I think we got all our bases covered, but it really needs to be a really much better tool for the city and for the people in town to be able to get information on all city services. And the other issue is the Consolidation Committee, on request of Councilman Brown. The Consolidation and Restructuring Committee met briefly twice this month. Once was a few nights ago, and we went over the efforts that we have spent the past 5 or 6 years on. And as I mentioned earlier, we're down almost 40% in personnel, and I think we did some good things in making government a little smaller and a little smarter, a little more efficient, but there is an opportunity now to do a little bit more. We've taken a very large and complicated system and made it smaller, but there's still some complexity to it that I think we could streamline. So we'll be meeting in the next month and a half. I think we have some good ideas on the table, which are, some ideas are being researched also by our personnel attorney, and I think we could even make them make the form of government or the structure of government a little more streamlined. So we'll be working on that for the next month, and that's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown?
Thank you. First, the Finance and Budget Review Committee. So approval is requested for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $1,904,005.62. The bills have been signed by the Mayor, Council President, the Finance Chairman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the Clerk's office. I move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colvin?
Yes.
Cozio?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby-Hurling? Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemekaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Thank you. From the Public Property / Recreation Committee, I just want to let residents know, I know last month the issue came up as far as Union County trying to help us raise money or asking them for money for the Linden Youth Soccer Association. I see Ms. Alvarez here in the audience. I just want to let you know we received a letter from Union County, from our freeholder, And just to summarize the letter, I just want residents to know that over the past decade, Union County has helped the city of Linden out, where they've basically, through grants and appropriations and other measures, have helped contribute to the city of Linden over $2.4 million, which varies from improvements in our parks, the Youth Linden Soccer Association, and other things that don't matter. I'm not going to go into the details of the letter, but what I am going to do is submit this letter to the clerk for the public to be able to access this letter and look for it on their own. So I submit that to the city clerk. In regards to Third Ward business, I'll be short. There is, in April of 2011, there were 4 issues that related to my ward dealing with traffic that I asked for the police department to help me out with. One is Northwood Avenue, Elizabeth Avenue, and as most people know, the county has stepped up and is helping us out with a traffic study in regards to this intersection. One was permit parking on Elizabeth Avenue, where the council supported me in getting that. And the third has been speeding on Walnut and Clark Street, where the police have been helping me out as well. Unfortunately, though, there is still an outstanding issue on East Curtis and Maple Avenue. On Maple Avenue and Blanky Street, where we have the PAL building and Dobson Park. It was brought to my attention last week that the mayor asked our police department to remove a sign that was there, to ask residents and other people who are traveling in that area to slow down, because there's children that are there that I feel, unfortunately at night you can't see, and there's a lot of activity there. So I'm submitting this letter that I did write back in 2011 and asking the mayor tonight publicly for his support in, 1, getting that sign put back there, and 2, asking for something to be done at this intersection, whether it's a traffic study, a 4-way stop sign. And I would like to hear from him today why that sign was removed and what he's going to do to help us improve that intersection. Because as I learned 2 years ago when I brought up Elizabeth Avenue and Wood Avenue and Elizabeth Avenue, it took 2 years for some type of results, and I'm not looking for another 2 years to get this intersection fixed. So I'd like to hear from the mayor how he's going to help us out with that.
I have a question for you, Mr. Brown. Did you go through the chain of command?
Yes, Council President. As the letter here is, I both gave it to the mayor and to the acting chief, Schuhafer. The letter is dated April 11th, 2011. So I will resubmit that to the clerk's office as well.
Mayor, wish to comment on that?
I will take his requests in consideration. There's reasons I removed that sign, and when we have the ability to put that sign back up, it will be up, but we got a whole city to worry about in regards to the message boards. And for him to try to publicly chastise me and embarrass me is uncalled for and inappropriate, and I think he should be reprimanded for doing so. He could have talked to me in caucus, but instead he wants to embarrass me in public.
Mr. Mayor, what is the chain of command of the police department? What is your responsibility with the police?
I am head of the police department, and all the councilmen, I've decided to make a policy that they are to go through me rather than contacting individual police officers or department heads. It's getting to be a task that's getting too heavy for the department heads to handle in the police department, whether it be traffic, detective, or whatever. And therefore, I had directed all council persons that any requests for the police department, they are to go through me so that I could then follow up on them.
Thank you for that informative statement.
Thank you, Council President. And I just want to end my remarks, but again, it's not a matter of embarrassing anybody. It's a matter of, again, the way I feel government should be open. And if I wrote a letter in 2011 and still nothing was done, I think the public has a right to know that and also to know why it was removed. But again, I've made this request, and I'm asking for support that this will be fixed. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilman Armstead from the 4th Ward.
Yes, Mr. President, I have the following reports. The City Clerk's Licensing Division is submitting this monthly report for the month of October 2013. The office issued 63 dog licenses and 86 miscellaneous licenses and collected $2,371. The following licenses, permits, and transcripts were issued in the City Clerk's office during the month of October 2013, and fees received has been turned over to the City Treasurer. We had 116 birth, death, and marriage transcripts for $1,695. We had 26 marriage and civil union licenses for $78, with an additional $650 going to the state. There were 8 miscellaneous revenues for $542.38. There were 4 bingo raffles for $80, and there were 247 EDRS vital stats for $3,315. There was 1 borough permit fee for $5, for a total of $6,365.38, of which $650 went to the state. Now, 4th Ward business. The tree crew is still in the 4th Ward, and trees are still being trimmed. According to the supervisor, he plans to at least be there till the end of November. But again, that's of course depending on his productivity and how much work he gets done. But if you still need a tree trimmed, please give us a call. We can add you to the list. The other thing I want to talk about is leaf pickup. I'd like to have our department head, Walter Fakiti, post that on TV 36 for the public to know if there's any schedule that we're going to be adhering to. I don't know if Walter's still here. Has he left? Oh, I think he left. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to request that Walter Fakiti put this on TV 36 so that we can better advise the public as to what the schedule will be. The other thing in the 4th Ward is a traffic study is being conducted for Bauer Street. We talked about this last month. I did get a response from the police department, and they are currently reviewing it, and according to their study, they do feel that the possibility of a 4-way stop it will be needed somewhere along the Bauer Street area. We do have a park that's off of Cleveland Avenue, and we do have school number 5. And there has been some considerable problems with speeding regarding the area. So I think that's something that's desperately needed, and I do believe the police department will adhere to that and give me the 4-way stop that is needed. The other thing I want to talk about, the Board of Education. I want to congratulate the candidates for the Board of Education, Lisa Orman, Dawn Biviano, Susan Hudak for the 3-year terms, and Alexander Alvarez for the unexpired term. I'd like to congratulate 3rd Ward Councilman Peter Brown on his re-election, 5th Ward Councilwoman Rashana Cosby-Hurling on her re-election. I'd like to congratulate Mike Menichenko, the 7th Ward Councilman-elect. Mike, I know you're going to do a great job. I know you have some serious roots down there in the 7th Ward, and it's a tough job. We look forward to working with you. I think you're going to do a good job. Got big shoes to fill. Jack Shee, he was a good man. He loves that neighborhood down there. I've known him all my life as well, and I know he's got deep roots in town as well. And last but not least, I'd like to congratulate my good friend Don Byers. Don Byers and I were former school number 4 alumni. We ran up and down those streets over there for quite a few years, and going to be a joy working with you, Don. Congratulations. Look forward to working with you. And last but not least, we talked about, a couple colleagues sent their condolences to the Gregorio family. I'd like to do the same myself. It was John T. Gregorio, it was 25 years ago, when he was coming back to run as mayor again in Linden. He had made a decision. He had picked his team. He had totally picked his running slate, all with the exception of the 4th Ward. He hadn't made a phone call. And my good colleague, Jimmy Moore at the time, got me an interview with Mayor Gregorio, and a decision was made to put me on that ticket. And here I am, 25 years later. I mean, I lost the first election, incidentally, and I came back 3 years later and ran again with his help and the help of many others in town. And I'm a councilman to this day, and I'm ever thankful for the opportunity he gave me. And I also thank my good colleague Jimmy Moore for getting in his ear and convincing him to allow me to be on that ticket. So again, my condolences to the Gregorio family. He'll be missed. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Rashana Cosby Hurley.
Thank you, Council President. From the Negotiations Committee, our last meeting was actually postponed, and we're going to have a meeting this week. As we all know that our deadline, where actually our contract is over on the end of December. So we're going to be, very aggressive and try and meet it quickly as possible to try and get something in place before mid-year next year, because as I said last month, the contracts are still held in force until such time as we can get a new contract. So we're going to be working very hard to do that so we can save, some things. If you look at the resolutions, and when we get to the resolutions, you'll see $575,000. That is for prescriptions. We are self-insured. So one of the things that, we need to really consider, and for the union presidents that I know may watch and shop stewards, consider reality. We have to really consider not being self-insured. We cannot afford it. We pay dollar for dollar for prescriptions, and that's a big chunk of money. 575 is not 500, it's 500,075, and we need to really consider going, with a state plan. Very, very important. We have, on December the 6th, we're going to have the tree lighting ceremony. That's another resolution as well. It was on the consent agenda already. We had a great September to remember. The Cultural Committee did a fabulous job, and I'm looking forward to the tree lighting, which will be at 6 o'clock on December the 6th, right in front of City Hall, so please plan to attend. I know there are going to be some new activities this year with Santa and at the promenade, so I'm looking forward to it myself. Also in the 5th Ward for December 14th, mark your calendars, we're going to do Santa and Song, and we do have a little gospel concert that's going to follow our craft and activity with Santa photos. That's going to be from 3 to 7, December 14th at the Linden Multipurpose Center. There's a free home buyers workshop. If you are on my email list, I know some people said they weren't able to get the attachment. The information is December the 7th, 10 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock p.m. Registration begins at 9:30. This workshop is going to be held at the 8th Ward Recreation Center. You can expect to get information about buying a home, reviewing mortgages, down payment assistance, and also for people who already own a home, there's going to be one-to-one counseling. So you can meet a HUD-certified loss mitigation counselor. So basically, if you fear foreclosure or you're having difficulty and you want to get on some sort of a program, there's a HUD-certified representative that will be there. And this is sponsored by Pastor Benjamin Valentin, the Family Center, Councilwoman Michelle Yamakaitis, and Councilwoman Cosby Hurling, again, December the 7th. This is information that is going to be, valuable to those people who need it. In the 5th Ward, we had our monthly meeting every quarter. We have October 30th was our meeting, and we had the distinct pleasure of honoring or celebrating with Councilman Armando Medina and his lovely wife. We also had Aaron Fernandez, Sergeant Fernandez, he was there. It was a great time. We had donations of food items from Chevy's, Fresh Mex right here in Linden, and we also got Maison Tropical, which is on East Elizabeth Avenue near Wood Avenue. They donated food. We had a good time. Nilda brought the music. Everybody, enjoyed themselves. At every meeting that we have in the 5th Ward, it's every 3 months, we try and do something. So we get information or we get recommendations from members of the community. If you have an idea for a topic for next year, I do my calendar in December. Last year we did mental health. We did lots of other important, community-based or family-oriented information sessions after we had our meeting. We had the pleasure of having Money Matters, little different things. So if you're interested, you can send me an email, rcosby-hurling@linden-nj.org, or you can call me or text me at 908-477-4120. I think that's, that may be all I have. Talk about negotiations. Oh, the last thing I want to talk about in our ward is I want to thank some of the neighbors, especially Brian. He alerted me to a safety issue in our ward where there's a pole near our school, and it's on Green Acres. So, of course, we don't know who's going to manage that, public service or, the city or whoever's going to do it. But I want to thank all my neighbors for calling me and emailing me and letting me know when they see things that I may miss or the committee members may not always see when we're driving around and things like that. So I want to thank them for their participation, because I can't do this without their support, and thank them for their confidence in the election, and congratulate those who were reelected and newly elected. And I look forward to working with everyone with an open mind and, moving our city forward. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Robert Sadowski.
Thank you, Council President. Just a few things. First of all, I want to congratulate the winners of the election. We have Roshana Cosby, 5th Ward, Peter Brown, 3rd Ward, Mike Minichenko, 6th Ward, Don Bayer, 2nd Ward. I just want to congratulate you, because any kind of campaigning, whether you win or lose, you're busting your back. So congratulations. As concerning FEMA with the Emmett Place and down in 7th Ward, so far, I think this is right, there have been 49 people from both 6th and 7th Wards who are looking into the Blue Acres buyout. If you are interested, you must sign up, I think, by December 7th. By signing up, it does not mean that you're going to sell your home. It means you're interested and see what they will give you. You sign up, you don't have to sell it. But please, that date is coming closer and closer, so if you think anyone there, please give them a call, a mayor's office, and they will get you the contact number. So please, that's coming up quickly. We've had calls on the 6th Ward concerning the railroad station closing a little bit early. We have discussed that, and at the present time, it's being looked into, and I'm sure it will be fixed. Station hours are about 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the winter coming, so they'll check into that, no problem. For the people on Stiles Street by Cantor's property, they've been complaining about dust coming off where they're fixing it up. The city's looking into it, Construction Code is looking into it, Board of Health is looking into it, and they will do whatever they can to keep the dust down. I was told, please make sure your dogs have licenses. And the other complaint, I don't know if it's just in the 6th Ward, of people walking their dogs on other people's property. Please, if you do, clean up after your dog. I mean, I get 5, 6 phone calls, and you can't chase after these people. So please, have a little, for your neighbors. Okay, just passing by, you had them here. We had Veterans Day, and we went to all the memorials in the city. First of all, there wasn't as many people going to them. I mean, ex-vets, they were in New York City and so on. But what disappointed me was we went to each one of these memorials, and we were lucky if there was one person there. It's as if people forgot. Please, remember your vets. They did a good job. If there's oh yeah, I know. People are calling about the leaves. If you need bags, please go down, collect it from the city. Or if you can't, give me a call, and I'll send you over. I'll bring you over 2 packs. Thank you. That concludes my talk.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sheehy.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to congratulate anybody that ran for public office. It takes a strong person to to do this job and just to go through what you have to go through. And I'd really like to congratulate Mike Minerchenko. He'll be taking his seat, and I know he'll do a great job. He is, his heart's in the right place, and he's a good man. I've known him all my life. I would like to congratulate and honor everybody or anybody that worked on that Halloween parade. Again, it's all done by volunteers and the Halloween committee. It's the same people every year that step forward and help out. But I'd like to put a mention out for the people that supplied their equipment and their time. Frank from Frank's Garage, Fernando from Fernando's Auto Body, Ray from Gabe's Towing, Rob Kabbalah, this guy put up 4 trucks for the Halloween parade from Kabbalah's Emergency Service, this young man Taylor from JTG, and again, the Villanis. You know, Mr. Villani was honored here tonight, but, you know, almost any event you go to in the city of Linden, there's a Villani there. Either Mr. Villani, his daughter, or his sisters. The Villanis have done so much for this community. And like the veterans say, when you come back from war, you still contribute to the community. And that man sure does. And I would like to, I think a lot about Mrs. Gregorio. You know, that woman, she reminds me of Mrs. Kennedy, the way she conducted herself, you know, all these years in the city of Linden. God bless her. And God rest his soul. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Shi. Mrs. Councilwoman Yamakaitis.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the Personnel Committee, approval is requested for the following personnel actions. Number 1, in the Police Department, the paid FMLA leave for employee number 426 for the period November 1st, 2013 through November 30th, 2013. Number 2, in the Board of Health, the paid intermittent FMLA leave for employee number 1021 for the period of November 1st through December 31st, 2013. Number 3, in the Construction Code Department, the unpaid FMLA leave for employee number 107175 for the period of October 9, 2013 through November 26, 2013. Number 4, in the Division of Public Property, the unpaid FMLA leave for employee number 908545 for the period October 2nd through November 2nd, 2013. Number 5, in the Finance Department, the paid intermittent FMLA leave of absence for employee number 808 from October 21st through November 15, 2013. Number 6, in the Finance Department, the hiring of Teresa Vitale as an accounting procedures analyst at the starting annual salary of $59,500, effective December 2nd, 2013, contingent upon the successful completion of all applicable background checks and pre-employment examinations. Number 7, in the Fire Department, the paid FMLA leave of absence for employee number 100122 from October 21st to December 1st, 2013. Number 8, in the Fire Department, the paid FMLA leave of absence for employee number 295 from November 1st to December 1st, 2013. Number 9, in the Fire Department, the paid FMLA leave of absence for employee number 100118 from November 1st to December 1st, 2013. Number 10, in the Clerk's Office, permission for Diane McKeon to carry over 2 vacation days to be used no later than January 31st, 2014. Number 11, in the Engineering Department, the acceptance of John J. Vogel, drafting technician, resignation effective October 15, 2013. Number 12, in the Division of Public Works, the acceptance of Jeffrey Brook, employee number 107172, as a laborer Tier 2 resignation effective November 14, 2013. Number 13, in the Division of Public Works, the paid FMLA leave of absence for employee number 933, effective October 26 to November 30, 2013. Number 14, in the Division of Public Works, the paid FMLA leave of absence for employee number 970, effective October 28 to December 15, 2013. Number 15, in the Division of Public Works, the paid FMLA leave of absence for employee number 864, effective November 1st to December 2nd, 2013. Number 16, in the Department of Public Property and Community Services, the return of Robin Larson back to the Division of Public Works at no change in title or compensation. Number 17, in the Police Department, permission is granted to begin the background investigations to potentially hire 8 probationary police officers. Number 18, in the Law Department, the change in the title for Dana Tristato to Paralegal Specialist with a minimum salary of $54,448 starting January 1st, 2014. I make a motion for approval and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Kosiel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
I'm going to vote yes with the exception of 4, 6, and 11, which I vote no.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Okay, for the 8th Ward Council report, I want to extend my gratitude on behalf of the 8th Ward to the Linden High School German class and German exchange students who have recently held a cleanup day in the 8th Ward as part of a community service project. The students cleaned up under the Park Avenue Bridge and the surrounding area and painted the shed in McGilvery Park. A special thank you to Mrs. Mary Turbot, Lieutenant William Turbot, and the Linden Superior Officers Association for food and supplies. This is the last call for leave bags. If you need any leave bags, please give me a call. And as some of my colleagues on council had mentioned, they're finishing up the 4th Ward now, moving into the 5th. They do it in numerical order, so they still will not be in the 8th Ward for a while. I have many trees on my list, but if you need a tree trim, then you haven't contacted me, or if there's a dead one by your home, please give me a call. We will be having an 8th Ward community meeting next Monday, November 18th at 7 p.m. at Jersey Lanes. We'll also be having our 8th Ward holiday open house, where we'll have our annual visit for Santa. We're just confirming up the date, and I'll give you more information regarding that. As Councilwoman Cosby Hurling mentioned, on Saturday, December 7th, we'll be having the free homeowner buyer's guide at the 8th Ward Community Center. The program includes the information on credit, as well as information on how to access state and local community-based programs to assist with home buying or any other issues you may have. So if you can, please stop by. It will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to wish 8th Ward resident Alma McDaniel a happy 75th birthday. I was invited to her surprise party this past Sunday. She was truly surprised, and this was the first time in her life that anybody ever threw a birthday party for her. So she was hoping Cory Booker would have come, but she had to settle for me. So I just want to extend a happy birthday to her. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman Yamakaitis. Councilman Medina?
Yes, thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. Just a couple things here. The permit signs for the side streets along Northwood Avenue has been installed. This is definitely going to help improve the quality of life and public safety for these residents. I provided a letter to the property managers at Lockwood Apartment, advising them of this change and providing them with a 30-day notice to warn their residents. I also sent a letter out to all affected residents, with full instructions. So if you haven't received a letter, you don't know how to receive your permit, please give me a call or email me. As you all may know, our former mayor, Mayor Gregorio, has passed away a few weeks ago. I was a young man when he was in office, but he was a mayor that cared about the people of Linden, earning him the title Mr. Linden, and my thoughts are with his family and friends. I also want to briefly congratulate everyone that ran for office. Congratulations and good luck. And this is kind of off my list, but I just want to, again, I didn't get the opportunity earlier to thank Michael Anderson. He is a prime example of believing in change and actually getting involved in your community. I met Michael through his father, who was also heavily involved. So I look forward to continuing working with Michael and individuals just like himself to help improve the city and come together with fresh ideas that will benefit all in the city of Linden. I also recognize two individuals in the audience, which I won't point out to, but they're new to Linden. I met them at the grand opening of the condos, and we kind of stole them from Broadway, so unless I'm mistaken, but welcome to Linden, but I just wanted to kind of point that out. There's nothing really new in the Ninth Ward. We're still suffering the same issues with the speeding. The police department is still trying to do the best they can with the resources that we do have. I will be seeking in 2014 additional stop signs for Orchard, and hopefully discuss the speed table for DeWitt Terrace. Basically, speed table is just a fancy word for speed humps. We definitely need to have these installed in front of our schools and park. This is actually one of the idea of my colleague, Councilman Brown. We talked about this a few months ago, and I'm hoping that we can get this accomplished for 2014. I also want to thank my other colleague, Councilwoman Roshana Cosby-Hurling, for inviting me to her 5th Ward event and honoring me with the prestigious award of being the first Latino councilman. I'm sorry I didn't dance salsa. I don't know how to dance salsa, but if they would have put merengue on, I would have nailed it right in the head. So other than that, I want everyone to have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Drive safe, drive 25, stay alive, and obey all speed, posted speed limits. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Councilman. 10th Ward Councilman Adam Kaczynski.
Thank you, Council President. I apologize for any coughing or voice problems I might have. I'm going to blame it on the change of weather. I'm hoping that's what it is. But yeah, so please excuse me in advance. I'd like to report from the Construction Code and Lighting Committee that the office processed 184 permits and 69 certificates for the month and collected $79,772 in fees for October. And as we also heard from numerous council people up here, I'd also like to extend my condolences to the family of former Mayor John T. Gregorio. Unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to work with him. Again, he's due to my age, but growing up, I benefited, no doubt, from his leadership in the city because I grew up in the city, and I enjoyed growing up in the city, and I enjoyed it so much that I stayed here, moved back here, and wanted to get involved in the city. So that kind of influence is truly undescribable, so I would just like to pass along my sincere sympathies to all those who knew him well. Tonight we had a lot of presentations, and I'd like to congratulate and recognize Mr. Villani again and all the veterans that I have had the opportunity to meet and know. Some of my neighbors, and one of my closest neighbors, veteran of World War II, and I'm inspired every time I speak to him. I'm inspired to anybody that fights from World War II to any war that's been around, or even if there wasn't a war and you just decide to serve a cause greater than yourself is something that I always find admirable. And I want to send out my sincere thanks to Mr. Villani and congratulations, and to all veterans that can hear me. Thank you very, very much from a very indebted 31-year-old American. Thank you. I'd also like to congratulate my esteemed colleague and neighbor, Councilman Medina, on being recognized as the first Latino council person. It's been an honor working with him for the past year, and I envision that working together for so many of our issues that are not unique. The 9th and 10th Ward share a lot of common issues, and I found it that Councilman Medina is very adamant for his residents and willing to work together to try to get things done. I appreciate that very much. And along those lines, I'd also like to thank or congratulate Sergeant Fernandez for his recognition as well. And I'd be remiss not to also note the hard work of Michael Anderson and the Kane University students and Seoul students he brought out to, who actually added in and helped paint that trestle under there. As an individual that goes under that trestle an awful, awful lot, I really did smile when I saw that. So thank you very much, and I appreciate that efforts. Excuse me. And congratulations to all re-elected officials, my colleagues, and then the members of the Board of Education. In a very special way, I'd like to welcome aboard Councilman-elect Minerchenko and Councilman-elect Byer. I look forward to working with both of you as the year progresses, and hopefully, as you can tell, and if you would talk to my fellow colleagues up here, my door is always open for any issue from the simplest to what do I say, when do I say it, because I know it's tricky, to here's a real issue, can you help me, can we work together, and I'll be more than happy to hear anything out. So please know my door's always open. I'd also like to thank those that ran and didn't win. I admire the fact that these individuals tried to move forth and try to help the city of Linden. It's something that, again, I admire. And a very special thank you to all you that came out and voted, because if people don't vote, then our elections don't matter. So thank you very much for coming out and voting. 10th Ward specific issues. I'll be having a sit-down really soon with Chief Shalhaver and Mayor Gerbunka and Councilman Medina as well, I believe, to talk about the various traffic and police-related issues in our ward. I've heard time and time again from different roads in the 10th Ward, but similar issues. And my goal is to not have a Band-Aid solution, but a true solution, because the Band-Aid only works until the Band-Aid falls off, and then we have a problem again. So I would really try to find a working solution that's possible, and I've heard from numerous residents about the different issues, and I'll be bringing them all forth again at the sit-down meeting. But I would like to let you know that hopefully moving forward, I have had cooperation and at least an open ear, and that's I'm very grateful for that. And moving on, I'd just like to thank everyone, or I should say wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And in this time, it's very easy, very, very easy to get lost in the little daily battles that we have and different things that happen. But truth be told, we're an extremely, extremely lucky society, especially what's going on around the world in different areas. So I'd like to all of us to really be thankful for what we have. And I'm thankful for the support and thankful for all of you individuals out there that help me every day. So I thank you. With this, I hope we all have the many blessings that we all enjoy, and I wish you all the best out there for this holiday. And thank you, Mr. Council President. That concludes my report, and if anyone has to reach out to me, it's 908-463-9234 or the email akaczynski@linden-nj.org. Thank you, Mr. Council President.
And Councilman, if you're not feeling well, you're dismissed. I'd like to move into the mayor's report. Honorable Mayor Gregorio, you have Gregorio.
Thank you, Council President.
The reason why I said Gregorio was because I wasn't going to publicly say anything, because I gave my personal condolences and I really respected the gentleman, and I wanted to keep it personal. Mayor Gerbunka.
Thank you, Council President. I, too, offer my condolences to the Gregorio family. I realize that no matter what I say isn't going to relieve the hurt and sorrow that they're experiencing today and in the future, but maybe they could take a little solace in the fact that because of John Gregorio, Linden is a better city due to his hard work. I'd also like to mention that we are having some issues in regards to recycling, in particular our commingles, plastic bottles, and aluminum. And the issue is outside our borders, because when we turn over those recyclables to our distributor, they are processed and brought by ship to China. And China is the largest producer of recycling the commingled bottles and cans and plastics. And what China is doing now is scrutinizing all the recyclables that the United States brings in, because we are bringing in contaminated materials, jars that are still full of food product, rubber hoses, and other items that don't belong in a recycling stream. And China is starting to turn away shiploads of recyclables because they're contaminated. And we just got a letter from our distributors that pick up the recyclables and telling us that we got to make sure that we don't bring contaminants into their waste stream, because now they're scrutinizing it more, and for every ton of contaminants that we bring them, they're going to be charging us $97 for the labor costs involved in removing them from the waste stream. So that is the point I want to bring up to the public. Please scrutinize what you're recycling. If you don't, it's going to start costing us money, and we're going to be working with the Environmental Commission to try to make this a more public effort to raise public awareness so that we don't get penalized. And with that said, Council President, thank you, and I just would like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're going to move into resolutions 2013-390 through 2013-422. Public comment will be permitted on specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions which have been prepared by the City Clerk's office. Each is informative and is self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions. Does anyone wish to remove any resolutions 390, 342 on my right? Pat Hero? 394? 420? 421 on my right. In the center, Mrs. Malik? 394? 396? 397? 407, 410, 420. In the center. On my left. 420. Seeing none on the left, I ask for a motion on the remainder.
Council President, make a motion for for resolutions 390 to 342 with exception of 394. 422 with exception of 394. 394, 396, 397, 407, 410, 420, and 421. And ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy? Yes. Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 394, two people. Pat Hero, we'll start with you, please.
Pat Hero, Wheatsheaf Road. Yes, this regards McManaman and Scotland as Special Redevelopment Council to represent the city in various redevelopment matters. There's need for additional funds not to exceed $10,000 for legal services. Now we're up to $130,932.84. When does it stop? When will we no longer need their redevelopment council? That is why government does not belong in the redevelopment business. Thank you.
Mrs. Malik?
Seems like every month, more and more money is added to this, usually to the tune of about $10,000. My only question I have here is there any cap on this amount of amount of money for the expenditures?
Ms. Malik, we add as needed. It's usually not $10,000. It's occasional, 10, sometimes 5, depending on the matter. This is representation involving both the Morningstar project, Southwood Avenue, and other projects. Right now, there's a trial scheduled in January for the one matter, so they've hit their ceiling. We cap it. What we do is we cap the litigation expenses, and then they have to come back to us when they hit 80% of that number and justify needing more money. So we just don't give it a blank check and allow the attorneys to run it up. We monitor the expenses closely and keep them in check, which is why we choose to add on at $5,000 to $10,000 increments rather than authorizing $100,000 up front.
All right, thank you.
Mrs. Mallett, this is for 410, so you can get a look at it. 410.
Motion, please.
Council President, make a motion for the passage of Resolution 394 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
No.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Resolution 396 would be Mrs. Malik.
What I just want to know is how much money is actually involved in this?
Mr. Verchik.
We're requesting $600,000. There's no city funds.
Okay, thank you.
Can I have a motion, please?
Council President, make the motion for the passage of Resolution 396 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mrs. Malik on 397, please.
Is this a new leachate pump or is this a replacement?
Mr. Verchik.
It's a replacement. The pump was destroyed during Hurricane Sandy, and we've been using a temporary pump since then.
Okay, thank you.
Motion, please.
Council President, make a motion for the passage of Resolution 397 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mrs. Malik, 407, please.
The cancellation of unused capital improvement appropriation, how is this reflected in our budget?
Ms. Sack, please.
This resolution is canceling funded projects that have been funded through various years, that the purchase of the item or the project is done, completed, and we're closing it to the capital surplus. If you look on the revenue section of the budget, you'll see that we have budgeted capital surplus, which offsets debt service for the various projects.
So technically, this is not really unused capital, it's just been expended and balanced off on the other side?
It's projects that have been funded and no longer are necessary in the specific line items because either, say for instance, a garbage truck was purchased, might have come under bid, therefore we don't need that full amount. We're closing it, canceling it, and it goes into capital surplus. And it can only be utilized for that specific purpose to offset the debt service costs.
Okay, so this is to the tune of $1.6 million that's unused. So how is this reflected in our budget?
Right now, it's not in
We
the
have a-
budget. This can be used in future budgets, but it would be used to offset debt service. For instance, the city's debt service is approximately $10.6 million.
All right.
We can appropriate this as a revenue under the budget and offset that increase of the debt service.
Okay.
Thank you. Motion, please.
Council President, make a motion for the passage of Resolution 407. Ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 410, Mrs. Malik, please.
Do we know how much money is involved in this, the sale, the surplus? And also, where does that money actually go after the sale?
Mrs. Sack, please.
This is a resolution right now that we're declaring the items that we no longer need for use for municipal purposes. We haven't had the auction or the sale yet. In the past, when we did have auctions, we had raised anywhere between $50,000 and $75,000, and that goes into the sale of municipal assets.
The sale of municipal assets.
Yes.
All right.
Motion, please.
Council President, make a motion for the passage of Resolution 410 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Kozio?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling? Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 420, Pat Hero.
I'm just going to batch 420 and 421 since they deal with the same thing. Why are we having emergency appropriations with regard to health, medical, and surgical insurance in the amount of $575,000?
Mrs. Sack.
This is in regards to the prescriptions. The city of Linden is self-insured when it comes to prescriptions. We budget a certain dollar amount. The amount that we budgeted does not cover the amount of claims that are coming in for prescriptions. We have to cover dollar for dollar. There was certain individuals that had exceeded what we had anticipated the prescription account to be. Therefore, we have to do what's considered an emergency appropriation for that amount.
We will definitely have to rethink this in the bargaining period. Thank you.
Mrs. Malik on 420, please.
I guess your explanation was satisfactory, but the monies that is being budgeted, all right, where is this actually coming from? I mean, we have a budget, and, you know, over $500,000 is going to be laid out for this. From what bucket of money is this coming from?
We will have to raise this next year in the budget for a one-year. This is a one-year emergency. We'll have to raise
Okay.
this in the 2014 budget.
So for next year, all
Yes.
right, thank you.
I'd like to ask for a motion on 420 and 421.
Council President, ask for a motion approval for Resolution 420, 421. Ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Kozio?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. The council, in order to take into consideration public input into proposed ordinance, will allow 3 minutes for each individual to speak on the ordinance on first reading. Council will not answer any questions, and everyone is reminded the public hearing on these ordinances will be held next month's council meeting. We have ordinance on first reading, 5764.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic shall be amended as follows. 7-33 Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A Handicap Parking on Street, delete 542 Monmouth Avenue, 1 space.
Comments from members of the public? Motion, please.
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 57-64 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Kozio?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5765, please.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the city of Linden, passed August 15th, 1995, and approved August 16th, 1995, Schedule 4, HH2.
Any members in the chambers wish to comment on this? Motion, please.
Mr. President, I move for introduction of ordinance 5765 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Kozio?
Yes.
Brown? Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5766, please.
An ordinance of the City of Linden establishing an energy and natural gas aggregation program.
Members of the public have any comments on this? I'll ask for a motion now.
Council President, I move for introduction of ordinance 57-66 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Kozio?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
No.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5767.
An ordinance designating the Linden Transportation and Parking Division to install and maintain all signs associated with the municipal public access plan.
Anyone in the chambers wish to comment on this? Seeing none, I ask for a motion, please.
Yes, Council President. I move for the introduction of ordinance 57-67 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5768, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $98,750 for the acquisition of a remount ambulance for the fire department and authorizing the issuance of $93,812 in bonds or notes for financing part of the cost.
Members of the public wish to speak on this? Motion, please.
Mr. Council President, I make a motion to introduce ordinance 5768 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. We'll move into comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No personal derogatory comments, please. 5 minutes. Anybody sign the sheet? Pat Hero, please.
I always feel my First Amendment rights a little chilled when I hear that statement. Anyway, first I want to express my condolences to the family and friends of John T. Gregorio. He is the former mayor of Linden, and his passing leaves a void in the city of Linden. Now, on to my tradition. You know the month, it's November, and the tradition is my Thanksgiving speech. I just want to, first of all, thank all the people who ran for office and didn't get elected. They put a lot of time and effort into doing what they thought was best for their community, and a lot of people believed in them. Unfortunately, not enough for them to get elected. But still, we appreciate the service that they wanted to perform for the citizens of the city, and we hope that they will continue in their activism. I want to thank all the people who've been so incredibly supportive this year of this civic activist. I'd like to thank my other civic activists who always make me much better. I want to thank the family members of the governing body for their support to you. It's not easy being a member of the governing body's family and watching as your loved one is attacked, someone you really love and care about. So I wanted to say that I really appreciate the support you give to them. Know that it isn't personal with us, it's a professional thing, but I understand your feelings and how you might feel. I want to thank the tax collector and tax assessor's office who have been very gracious in a very, very busy year. The city clerk's office has once again been given outstanding service, particularly this year, which had 4 elections. And last month, a city council meeting on top of their election. I want to thank the DPW, who once again truly are my people. I'm thankful for the residents who come up to me and tell me about their councilmen and what a good job they're doing. Both Councilman Medina and Councilman Kaczynski have been given good reports by some of the people who have spoken to me. I'd like to thank all of the council people who voted against the garbage fee. And I want to suspend this because normally I know I go down the line and tell you all what a good job you do, but I want to make a special comment about one of the council people. Stood on the steps talking to somebody in the 7th Ward, along with one of the other people who's one of the 10 people outside of my family who have shaped and changed my life in all the years I've been. 10 people. Think of that kind of a legacy. That person happens to be Councilman Jack Sheehy. I remember 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago, when I asked about him, I said, well, can you trust him? I mean, I don't know about him. Is he good? I know you know Jack Sheehy because you've been in Linden, but I came back to Linden, so I really didn't know him. And they said, oh, Pat, you can trust him. He's good. I had no idea how good he was. He has just been tremendous. He's been a tremendous councilman. The man knows his ward like nobody's business. I know because I got a tour of his ward, and he told me all about the ward, about the people, everything. That man loves the ward. He's just incredible. Nobody, but nobody is going to fill his shoes. He has been a volunteer for so many activities in the city of Linden. Oh, and by the way, he has made it public, so I'm not giving anything away. He happens to have a rather serious chronic illness. And for everybody who has a chronic illness, he serves as an incredible inspiration, and a councilman, and a business owner. You can see what an incredible person Councilman Jack Sheehy is. He leaves a tremendous legacy for the city of Linden. He certainly has left a tremendous legacy for my life. My life has been so much better because he's been in it for the years that he's been in it. And I hope as he leaves the council that we will continue to be friends. His family is a magnificent family. I love his wife. And I just don't know what I'm going to be doing next year when I have to be at this council podium and I'm going to look over and he's not going to be there. Our lives were richer because he's in it, and we're going to be a lot poorer because he's not going to be in it next year. There's only been one councilman that I've ever heard somebody come up to the podium and said that I loved. That person was Jack Sheehy. 2 people have said they love Jack Sheehy. That's at the podium. That's not all the ones that have come up to me and told me how much they love Jack Sheehy. I am so happy that you were in my life. You've made an incredible difference in my life. My life is better because you were in it, Councilman Sheehy. And I just want to say thank you for that. And I want to wish everybody in Linden a most happy Thanksgiving and a healthy one. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Sharpie.
Congratulations to the councilman, Mr. Brown, Mr. Byer, Mr. Colsey. I hate to see you leave, but you've been good to me. Congratulations. And Jack, your replacement's here?
Behind you.
Behind me? Congratulations, sir. And as we head into the congratulations to the Board of Ed members, I was put up there for a reason, but that's okay. I'm not done yet. Well, moving forward, I see we have the thing about the business administrator. Well, that form and how it reads is not right. So for me, I'm asking all the voters in this great city of Linden. First of all, I'd like to ask my condolences to probably one of the greatest mayors that this town has ever seen. And it's been a bad month for me. I met John when I first moved down here to New Jersey. I met Tommy Dunn, him, and when I came down here, I was an old guard Democrat. Because my father served with John F. Kennedy, and I come from the old guard. Well, when we shook your hand, we told you we were going to get something done, and John was a man like that. And after John has left office, Rich, you're doing your best, but it's hard when you ain't got the council working with you. It's very hard. And, you know, he was there for the homeless people. But most of all, me being, I had to get out of service in Navy. John Gregorio was very dedicated. And this past week, we lost the commander, you know, and that was hard on my kids. You don't know how hard that was on my kids, you know. And especially here in Linden, you know, you got the biggest Navy ROTC in the Eastern Coast, and that hurt me. That, you know, and that was hard. And John's wife told me, she said, when she see my 2 daughters, you know, my daughters always had that from their grandfather, and they want to serve their country, and you know. But moving forward, next year is a very important year for Linden. And this form of government that we have here now is not right. I'm suggesting that all the voters come up with 4,300 signatures to change this form of government. You know, there's only 2 like this in the state. I'm suggesting that we have 5 wards, 2 councilmen at large, the mayor, and the deputy mayor and the business administrator. The city council is only a part-time job, you know. You had to be here, you had to see what's going on an everyday basis. You know, all you have full-time jobs, and this, for me, it's like part-time. City council, this city council is like part-time, man, you know. You don't see what goes on. A lot of these are out of town when all this stuff is going on here in town. You know, I'm already suggesting that the voters change this form of government, they come up with the signatures 90 days before the primary election. Because it can't be put on the ballot in the primary election. You know, you don't have to wait till the next general election. Those 4,300 signatures collected and be presented, it could come up on the ballot in the primary election and change this form of government here in Linden. And that's all I have. Congratulations on all the winners, and everyone have a happy Thanksgiving to all your families. And that's all I have to talk about.
Thank you for your comments. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, December 16, 2013 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, December 17, 2013 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, December 17, 2013 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Koziel?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Sheehy?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, and good night.